Now, another thing you might do is to go around and paint barns or paint anything. But now that isn't paint that boy, his name is Nate, that isn't paint that he's putting on that barn. That's a high pressure water hose, real high pressure, tremendous pressure that knocks the old paint off. That's what that's for, knock off the old paint. Then if it dries, then they can go ahead and paint. And they're going to spray paint it too, and I'll show you later their painting. Now here's George, the fellow that owns that outfit, going up the ladder. I got after him about not having side rails on that for safety's sake, because the wonderful bodies God has made for us to take unnecessary chances to getting hurt well, it's a bad thing to do. It's not right at all. But he's using that high pressure hose way up high on the barn there to blow the paint off up there so they can paint it. And of course he'll get up there on that ladder and do the painting too later. Look how far he'd fall if he fell. If it didn't kill him, it'd put him in the hospital. Yes, it would, and maybe just lay him up for life. He comes down now, but there ought to be side rails on that ladder so that if he slipped, there's something to grab a hold of and keep him from falling. Now on the other end of the barn, here they got the ladder moved around the other end of the barn, and Nate's going up to use the water hose there. And while he's doing that, George is getting ready to paint on the other side of the barn where it's dry. He's way up in the air there. No side rail. There should be side rails on that. Look how far he'd fall, way up the top. Oh, and here's George painting. Now this is the fastest I've ever seen a barn painted, or anything painted for that matter. Look how fast that paint goes on. That's under high pressure too. No air with that, just shooting out the paint. That's all there is to it, just under high pressure. That's what he told me. Look at there. Really spraying a barn. I asked him, I said, how come you're spraying across those windows? Oh, he said, we'll clean them all off later before it gets dried too hard. Now I go home, and here's the mother cat with a lot of little kittens. And they're not so little either, about half grown. And then after a few days, I go back to check the barn to see how it looked after they got through, and there it is, all done. The windows all cleaned off and the border painted